The Three Questions, a story by Leo Tolstoy and adapted by Aisha Hauser. Once upon a time, there was a king who really wanted to do right by his kingdom as a leader. So for a while, he had been pondering three questions that he thinks, if they were answered, would make him the best king ever. So the three questions were, when is the right time to do anything? Who is the right person to listen to, and who should you ignore? And what is the right thing to do? So these were not easy questions to answer, especially for a king who was looked to by many people. So he had asked his advisors over a period of time, and none of them gave him some really helpful answers. So then he said, you know what? I'm going to offer a great reward. And then I'll put the word out into the whole kingdom to see if there's anyone else who can help me to answer these questions. So he put out the word that he was offering a great reward, and many people came to see the king and offer him their answers. They weren't very helpful. There was one group of people who said, well, the exact right time to do something is according to a chart. And when you create this chart, then you will know the exact right time. Well, other people thought that was ridiculous. And then, who were the right people? Well, the warriors said, obviously, the right people are us, and the right thing to do is fight. He didn't like these answers. The king, just something in his heart knew that these weren't the right, correct answers. So he listened to many people in one day, and then he just went to sleep that night, woke up the next morning, and he had remembered that one of his advisors had talked about a person who lived in the woods who was very wise. So the king said, I'm going to find this wise person who lives in the woods and see if they can answer my questions. So the king set off on his horse early in the morning, and he went deep into the woods until he came to a clearing and saw somebody on their knees in the dirt with a spade in their hand, digging up, getting the land ready to plant seeds. So the king came up, and the person who the people in the town referred to as a hermit, because they lived by themselves in the woods, looked up and recognized the king and said, welcome. And the king said, I understand that you are a very wise person. I have three important questions to ask you. When is the right time? Who is the right person to listen to, and what is the right thing to do? So instead of responding, the hermit turned back to his garden and started digging up the land. So the king was trying to be patient and figured that the hermit was thinking. And so the king said, you know what, you look exhausted. Let me help you with that. So for the next several hours, the king helped complete what needed to be done with the garden. So as they were almost done, the king turned to the hermit again and said, you know, I helped you with this garden. Please answer my questions. And before the hermit could say anything, the king and the hermit heard someone yelling, saying, help me, help me. And they both turned to look, and it was someone with their hand on their side, and they appeared to be hurt. So both the king and the hermit ran over to this person, who then collapsed and fainted. The king realized that this person was in fact hurt and had a cut on their side. So the king picked him up, put him back in the house, in the bed, patched the person up, and then put a bandage on the cut and let the person sleep. It was a long day, and the hermit said, Your Majesty, this is not a palace, but you are more than welcome to spend the night here. So the king said, I will, to make sure this person is okay. So the king, in fact, did stay, and the next morning, the person who was hurt woke up and was so grateful. He had said he had fell off his horse and hurt himself, and was grateful to come upon the clearing. And the king was happy that he had done something on his own and helped and saved someone's life, perhaps. So the person went on their way. They were feeling better. They went to find their horse. And the king turned to the hermit and said, I have to go back now, but I'm going to beg you and ask you one more time. Please answer my questions. Who is the right one? When is the right time? And what is the right thing to do? He said, but you answered them already. And the king was surprised. And he said, when you came upon me and you helped me with my garden yesterday, I was the most important person at that exact time. And the right thing to do was to help me. And when the injured traveler fainted, you helped that traveler and mended them. So the right thing to do at the right time was to help that traveler right at that moment. So you see, the right time to do anything is right now. The most important person is the person you are with. And the best thing to do is help that person. Always do good and be of service. So right now, we have been asked to stay in our homes because we want to make sure we protect each other from a virus and an illness that's hurting people. And so the right thing to do, the right time is now. We are having worship online. The right thing, the right person is the person who you are, the people you are with, your families and the people that you are around you, your neighbors. And the right thing to do is to be the best person we can be, right? As it says in our chalice lighting, that we help each other, we connect with each other, and we remember that we are a community of people who help and serve.